It was Christmas morning, a Christmas I would never forget. Forget the Hot Wheels, forget the G.I. Joes, and definitely forget the new pair of underwear my grandmother got me every year. No, this Christmas, with all the gifts and surprises, was a Christmas where I learned if I fell down, I have to get back up. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I'm the youngest of four in my family, so that makes me the baby. And as the baby in the family, Christmas is all about me. This particular Christmas morning, I remember going to the living room and unwrapping my first gift. It was a holster with two cap guns. I was excited about the second gift, and so I slowly peeled back the paper only to be disappointed. It was the new pair of underwear that my grandparents got me. But one of the last gifts that I opened included a cowboy hat and cowboy boots. My two older brothers took me outside. They then took me behind this barn. To what should my wondering eyes should appear but a beautiful brown and white pony? I thought to myself, I must have really been a good boy this year. My brothers pushed me towards it. As I slowly walked up to it, I took my hand and began to caress his mane and his neck. And as he looked at me and I looked at him, I said to myself, I must be the pony whisperer. Well, after standing there for a few minutes, I decided that it was time to get on him. So I put my foot in the saddle, and as I was getting ready to put my leg across him, he immediately bucked me off. I fell to the ground, and with some hurt feelings and a bruised ego and a bruised rear end, I laid there. And one of my brothers said, Greg, get up. So I got up, dusted my hands off, and I said, enough for today. The next day, I got up out of bed, ran over to the pony, and I just stood there. And one of my brothers said, Greg, get on. So I attempted with trepidation and some fear, got on, and nothing happened. I sat there in stillness and quiet. I took the reins and gently poked him on the side, and he immediately bucked me off a second time. After getting up, I started wondering, maybe we should have just gotten a dog for Christmas. Well, the third day, I come back, I get up, I get on the pony, and I'm sitting there. And my brother says, Greg, it's time to get going. So I close my eyes, I take the reins, I gently poke him on the side, and he starts walking down the dirt road in front of my grandparents' house. And then he stops. And then he goes back again, and I stay on. Now, many of you may not have had the experience of learning how to ride a pony and a horse and getting kicked off. But all of us have had the experience of learning how to fall down and get back up. Last year when COVID hit, it impacted many of us. Some of us lost our jobs. Others of us had to stay at home with some unruly children and spouses. Worse off, some contracted COVID. Fellow Toastmasters, this impacted us too as Toastmasters. Many members at the beginning of COVID decided to drop out. Others struggled with learning how to operate Zoom. And worse off, many clubs stopped meeting altogether. It's 2021, it's a new year to begin again. And so I encourage us as Toastmasters, for those members who've dropped out, let us extend a hand and say, it's time to get up. For those who struggle with Zoom, let us stand beside them and say, it's time to get on. And for those clubs who have stopped meeting, let's encourage them and remind them it's time to get going. Fellow Toastmasters, that Christmas, my two brothers and a pony that was persistent taught me a lesson that I think we all can learn today. That lesson is, it's time for us to get up, to get on, and to get going. Mr. Toastmaster,